Well, it's time for our segment with Dr. Bobby. We are going to be talking about AIDS this morning, and this is not a discussion that children will probably need to be in the room, so we'd ask you kind of scoot them out at this point because it is a very adult discussion. But Dr. Bobby, we're going to start with, while they can scoot the kids out of the room, we're going to start to talk about testing for AIDS. I remember the good old Golden Girls episode, Rose. Mm-hmm. She had to get tested because she had a blood transfusion, and it took about 3 days to get the results, 3 to 5 days, I think, to get the results back. What's it like these days?
Yeah, so what a difference, a decade makes. Mm-hmm. I mean, now they're talking about rapid testing, for example, when mothers go into the labor and delivery area. You can get tested, and these rapid results can come back within 30 minutes.
Wow, so, 30 minutes.
Yeah, yep. So if you need them that fast, you can get them. Of course, the accuracy is not exactly, there's some false positives with that sort of testing, and they're still working out those details. But for a standard sort of thing now, you can go in and get tested and get the results tomorrow. And
where's a good place for someone, if let's say you don't want to go to your normal doctor because you have this fear, where's a good place to go get tested?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to the community health department and they can certainly test you just like the same places you go to get your flu vaccine nowadays, that sort of thing. And now they actually have home kits. I mean, they're a little more expensive. I mean, you can go get free testing if you go to a community health center. But you can always order a test, and those are about $50 for a kit that you can get, and you pick them up at the pharmacy and you mail them out and they send it back. Of course, there's some delay there. You're not going to get that test back within a day. But there are options for confidentiality and things like that.
Let's talk about the most at-risk groups. At-risk groups.
Sure.
The first one that obviously comes to mind, gay men.
Right, exactly. And that's the population where the numbers still continue to rise, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are some of the other groups that were at higher risk?
The two other main groups that are kind of still on the rise and is on everybody's radar, and the CDC is worried about, are minority groups. African American population, particularly African American men, and the Hispanic population, the Latino population. Those are the three subgroups that are kind of on the rise. And then, interestingly, as you pointed out earlier, the elderly population, and that's more because of education. There's this thought that, well, I'm 70 years old and it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen to me. Yeah.
But unprotected sex is unprotected sex, regardless of what age. And so that's why it's an issue.
And in regards to that sex that is at most at risk, what is it?
Yeah.
Which types?
Yeah, so I mean, in men who have sex with males, it's anal sex and that sort of issue, and anything that transfers bodily fluids. And so that's why, even in a heterosexual relationship and unprotected sex, when somebody has multiple partners, that can easily spread, and that's where we're seeing it a lot.
So even vaginal all the way up to oral sex, even though people think oral sex is not is not where it is transmitted.
Absolutely, it's the bodily fluids that transmit the viral particles, and so anything where that's possible is really what puts you at risk.
Yesterday was World AIDS Day, which is the reason that we're talking about this. Medically, how can people get treated now? It's not like it used to be when you saw Tom Hanks in Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not a death sentence. I mean, who would have thought when everyone saw the news about Magic Johnson, getting HIV, that he'd still be around at this point? Everyone thought at that point that, oh my God, poor guy. Here's somebody we all love to watch play basketball, and he's not going to be around. But that's not true. He's still on television. He still looks great, and that's because of the effective antiviral therapy. So there's medications now that stop the virus from replicating, and now it's more of a chronic disease. It's not something that's a death sentence. It's something that you have. And you have to be careful about maintaining the immune system counts and that sort of thing. But it's not something that's killing people like it used to.
It's not the death sentence anymore.
Absolutely.
As long as you get tested, get treated.
You have to find out that you got it, and then you got to find out and you get treatment for it.
Wonderful, Dr. Bobby. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Important topic.
Okay, stick around. Coming up at 6:20, we've got more on your jobs of the day and your daily click. Plus, if you've got a job interview coming up, well, guess what? We've got some tips to help you land that next job. You're watching NBC 25 today. More on that after the break.